Welcome to our very final project of our school year. I am so excited to talk to you about it. This is my very favorite thing that we get to do every year. It is so creative. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. You have just discovered your very own island nation. No one has ever found this island before. You have discovered it, and it is your job to act as a cartographer to map it for the rest of the world. Okay? A couple things to start off with. This island exists someplace in the world. You have to place it on the real earth somewhere in a real ocean. That means that you really have to think about where you're placing your country. If you're placing it in the Pacific Ocean, it's going to be a warm country. What are people going to do there for jobs? Do you need to have some sort of a fish processing plant because they're fishermen? If your country is in the Arctic Ocean, it's going to be a lot colder. Those physical features might include things like glaciers or like frozen rivers, right? You need to think about that right now as you begin planning. Okay? So for your island, you need to follow all of the totals. You need to have a title. The title of your map is going to be, what is your country's name? You need to have a compass rose, which is going to orientate your map north. You need to have the date your map was completed, and you need to have your name because you're the author of this. You're the cartographer. You need to have the legend or the key. Now, just like yesterday, I shared with you this website. It has a whole bunch of different symbols for you to put in your legend or your key. So we have different types of vegetation. If you're interested in that, you have what a footway path might look like. You have some borders if you would like to think about borders between different cities. You have a whole bunch of different things for tourism. You have major roads. You've got different things. Like if you are interested in having campgrounds, there you go. Bridges, forests, a marsh. There are hundreds of symbols on here all put together for you. You don't have to use these symbols. You can make your own symbol for things like a city or things like a forest, but these are just the common ones if you want to try to make it look more like a normal map of something that's already been mapped out. So you need to have a legend, and you need to decide the scale. So that just means, how big is your country? Is 1 inch going to equal 1 mile? So is your country going to be very small, or is 1 inch going to equal 10,000 miles? If you have a small country, you need to think about things like spacing your cities and your capitals out. If you have a big country, you need to think about, how are you connecting people from one side of your country to the other? Do you have a highway system? Do you have airports? Do you have train station or trains that kind of crisscross throughout your country, right? So if we look here, you need to have a symbol for each of these, and you need to have a capital city that is named. You need to have at least 2 more towns, villages, or cities throughout. They also need to be named. You need to have human features. These can include roads, airports, and parks. But in the packet, I have what I'm going to be using to grade you with. And it has a whole bunch of different required features in here, but these are just some of the things that you are required to have. So this is a list as well for you to look at. For physical features, you need to have lakes, rivers, streams, gulfs, lots of different things. You could have mountains, you could have plains, swamps, and forests. Remember, if it's cold, you could have glaciers, lots of different things to think about, okay? Here is a thing for you to brainstorm. If it is on your map and it is important to those people, you need to have a name for it, okay? You also need to describe your country. You need to tell me, what's the population? What does the land look like? How big is it? What is it famous for? And where is your country located on the map? When you go to hand it in, I'm going to ask you some of these questions. It's really important that you think about that before you start planning. For your country's map, it should be clean, it should be colorful, it should be large. It should be much